Top of the top, y'all, it's your boy Show coming live with yet another deal breakdown. Well, we did a massive 5-figure wholesale deal, and I want to give you guys all the juice of that deal, how we got it, what marketing channel we used, how we sold it, problems we had with the transaction and the buyer. I'm going to give you guys all the info of the deal, so take as many gems as you possibly can from this video, and hopefully you can land a 5-figure wholesale deal soon, all right? Tap in. All right, guys, so this deal was a single family property out in Waxahachie, Texas, which is about 35 minutes from where I am in Dallas. This deal came from a cold call, and we were actually calling on a probate lead, all right? But a voicemail got this deal for us, all right? So I was calling the lady, like I said, on probates. Her husband had passed away, I believe, and I was giving them a call to see if she was looking to sell their house. So I had called her 3 times. This was going to be my last call, leaving a voicemail before we turned her into a dead lead, since we were not able to make contact with her, all right? So I made that last call, didn't get in contact with her, simply left a voicemail, all right? Not an automated voicemail, but a personalized voicemail. And we did this a lot when we first started out, and it's something that, you know, we still use as a tool, because people see you as a person, not just a robot or a salesman, you know, calling to try to make a transaction. So I called and left her a voicemail, just let her know, hi, my name is Andrew. I was giving you a call in regards to this property. Whoop de whoop de wop, you know, left the voicemail, left it alone. A couple hours later, lady calls me back and says, hey, I got your voicemail, and I'm not interested in selling my house, but my sister is interested in selling her house out in Waxahachie, and she's really ready, you know, to make a transition. So I'm like, perfect. Give me the address. Give me your sister's contact information. You know, let me run my numbers and see if it's something we can do. She didn't want to give me her sister's contact information off the bat, but she did provide the address. Got off the phone with her, ran our numbers, said, man, this could be a great deal. Gave her a call back and just threw out an offer, a low offer. The ARV on this house, I believe, was like 250 or 230 plus. We had made an offer of, I believe, 80,000 cash for the property, and she was entertaining it. So when I called the sister back, I said, hey, I took a look at the property. This is what we can offer for it. And she said, you know what? I think my sister might go for that. I set up an appointment for me and my business partner to drive down, take a look at the property, give a hard offer, and go from there. So that's what we did. We set up an appointment. The next week, me and my business partner drove down to Waxahachie. We met both of the sisters, the one who was selling the house and the one who I had communicated with on the phone. We walked the property. I talked to her a little bit about her pain points and her reason for selling. She was an elderly woman. The house was fairly large. It was deteriorating. She didn't have the funds to fix the property, nor did she have the desire to fix the property. The property belonged to their parents. The property had been in the family for 70, 100 years. I mean, it was just big and in bad condition. She wasn't married. She was a single lady with daughters and grandchildren living in the house. She felt like they were taking advantage of her, just living there, not helping with the rent, you know, the taxes, not mowing the yard, not keeping the home up. You know, she just felt like it was a huge burden on her, and she wanted to get rid of it. So, you know, she even cried at that appointment, explaining to us how she has no help from her family around the house, you know. So at that point, I knew we were going to be able to strike a deal. She didn't want a whole lot from the transaction. She still owed a mortgage of like $50,000. She had a credit card adjustment of like $5,000, turns out. And so at our offer of 80, she wasn't really going to be able to make a lot, you know. And so when I presented the offer, I said, hey, if we can offer $80,000, would you work with us? And I just got quiet and let her process that. And she said, you know what? I would work with you at $80,000. And then her sister came back and was like, you know what? I think she can get a little more. And given the situation, you know, her her status as far as not wanting to be there, being in a sad position to the point where she cried in front of us. I wanted to make sure we got her a fair offer that helped her, because she needed to relocate. She needed to pay off that judgment. She needed the mortgage gone. She needed cash in her pocket, and she needed cash to relocate, and she wanted to buy a cash car so she did not have to depend on her daughter. So there we were. So we got back into negotiation, kind of went to the drawing boards, me and my partner. So we renegotiated the offer price on spot. We ended up agreeing at $92,500 as a purchase price. All right, so now we're locked into the deal at $92,500 for the seller. And so after that, I actually had an agreement in the car. And so I advise you guys to do that as well. Always keep a copy of a purchase and sale agreement on you when you walk a property or meet with the seller. You never know, they might want to sign in. We always try to get a commitment once we walk the property, same day. So I told her, hey, all right, so we're at $92,500. We're comfortable. I think we can move forward with that and get this done for you guys. I believe I have a copy of a purchase and sale agreement out in my car. If I can go and get that, would you guys be ready to sign and move forward today? The sister said yes. I went out, got the purchase and sale agreement, came back in, read over every term of the purchase and sale agreement with her. I signed, she signed, boom, deal done. I like to take a scan copy photo of the purchase and sale agreement, save it in my phone, and send that to the title company. And then I let the sellers keep the original copy in case they have any questions, all right? So that's another tip for you guys. But I advise you do that. And so, boom, there we have it. As soon as we're leaving Waxahachie, I'm like, man, I just met a guy who I know will buy this deal, all right? I send it out to him at $135,000. He's ready to go. He's ready to go immediately. Without even seeing the property. He was very active in Waxahachie. I mean, I had just met this guy. He expressed this. And so we just happened to get a deal out in Waxahachie. I called him. He was ready to go at $135,000 cash without even seeing the property. He wanted us to send the assignment immediately. He was ready to put down earnest money. So boom, here we are with so where are we at on now? We're at about a $42,500 assignment fee from there, right? So we going through the title search. Everything's going good on her end. We keeping good communication. And then next thing we know, it's time to get a survey for the property. The buyer wants a survey for the property. And the survey comes back and it's showing that a little piece of the land on the side of the house that the seller said was hers is not hers. And so, I mean, it was maybe 300 square feet, guys, really small. But our buyer made a big deal about it, saying, oh, well, now we have to do this and we have to do that. And there was a little shed on that part of the yard, so they have to tear down the shed. And, you know, he had a lot of complaints. And so we ended up doing a price reduction for him, $3,000. So we ended up assigning it to him at $132,000. Which gave us a wholesale fee of $39,500. And that's what we actually took from that deal, $39,500, all right? So we did some back and forth, like I said, about the negotiation, because how the survey came back and a little piece of the land did not belong to the property. So he kind of fought us on that. But another problem we had with this buyer, and we have not worked with him again since this transaction, even though we got a massive deal. I don't think he was happy with the fact we were making so much, but he also got a great deal as well. He was able to get the house for $132,000 when, like I said, the ARV was $250,000 plus. So he had a huge spread. He was going to make good money on the deal as well. However, when he did come down and do the first walkthrough, he was very vocal in that, hey, this is my house. It was him and his daughter. They were very arrogant, you know, and made the seller really uncomfortable. It was one of the first deals that we done. So we were kind of uncomfortable as wholesalers as well. Didn't know how to control or manage or maintain our buyers and the things that they said when in the presence of our sellers. And so it got really uncomfortable. We ended up having to talk to him. We ended up having to talk to our seller and say, hey, this is just a funding partner that we use. We buy a lot of properties. And so sometimes we bring other people in to help fund these deals. And so that's what we like to tell our sellers, to keep them comfortable with the fact that we are using other people, and other people are coming in to look at the property and, you know, assess it and make an offer on it, things like that, guys. All right. So the buyer was just very arrogant, very inconsiderate. And he even came back to the property without our notice and tried to offer the seller a different amount than what we offered her to try to take the deal from under us. Luckily, we had good communication and built a good rapport with the seller. She let us know that she felt uncomfortable with the buyer. She didn't want him to come back out to the house, without us communicating that with her. And he should have never did that in the first place, guys. So make sure you communicate well with your buyers, all right? That is very important. You want to make sure you communicate well with your buyers, especially if the seller is still living in a property. Buyers can kill your deals, man, with their arrogance and things like that. So, but we got past all of that. We ended up closing on this deal. We relocated the seller. I actually had to go on Zillow, find rental properties, reach out to the landlords or the people in charge of, putting the tenants in place, property management companies. I did that for several properties in order to find her a place that she could rent that was still in Waxahachie, that was, affordable for her fixed income, that had enough space for her. And so, we went through a couple trials and tribulations to get her qualified for that. But in the end, we did get her relocated. She was happy with the place. We got the deal done. We hired movers to get things out for her to take to her new place. We got junk removal done to take away everything else in the house that she didn't want and that the buyers didn't want inside. So we did a lot to get this deal across the finish line. But again, guys, this deal netted us $39,500. All right. That's a 5-figure wholesale deal, guys. That is one of our biggest deals to date. And you can absolutely do deals like this. They are out there. People are willing to sell at a discount if you can solve their problems, which is what we did for the seller here, all right? And the problems we solved were, we were able to pay off her mortgage, pay off her lien judgment with our purchase price offer amount. We were able to relocate her, help with her moving services, and remove all the other junk that did not need to be in the property, all right? So we solved quite a few problems there, guys, and we got paid decently for it, all right? So these are the type of deals we're doing on wholesaling. That's another deal breakdown for you guys, how we made $39,500 on one deal. Solve problems, build rapport with your sellers, be straight up and down, and make sure when you have buyers, you have good communication with them as well. And they know that you guys are working together as partners to get this deal across the finish line. They need to understand and respect what you do as a wholesaler and how you solve problems and the way you do that. And they need to work alongside you so you can continue to do your job and help them do their job by providing discounted properties, all right? So there's another deal breakdown for you guys. Tap in when you're ready, all right? The next 39.5 could be yours.